Gen Z's got a reputation for being constantly anxious, neurotic, over-therapized, terminally online, and allergic to hard work. Lazy girl jobs, quiet quitting, bare minimum Mondays. You've probably heard it all by now. Gen Z was told to go to college, to follow your dreams. So now we have all these grads with gender studies degrees with no industrial value whatsoever. That was a waste and honestly not a super smart move on their part, but I do empathize with Gen Z in other ways. And as a Gen Z girl, so is my amazing producer Emma, by the way, I'll break this down from my perspective while busting a few of the myths along the way. Let's lock in.
Gen Z is gaining a reputation, but it's not a good one. Employers are iffy on hiring them, and the data shows it. In 2024, a study showing that 1 in 6 employers are hesitant to hire recent college graduates.
Entry-level jobs are also vanishing. Young employment is rising, and some companies are posting job listings that don't even exist. And if that's the case, the dreams are going to be hard to follow. Maybe Gen Z is lazy, but maybe they feel like the system is just rigged against them. So according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the unemployment rate for 20 to 24-year-olds, that means those who are actively looking for work, is 7.9%. Reasons for this include global inflation, rising interest rates, and economic uncertainty that have made companies cautious about hiring. Maybe we're onto something here. Hear me out.
Shannon, I'm hearing it in my real life from college grads all the time. What did these young people tell you about their job searches?
Yeah, I mean, NBC News, we heard from more than 100 recent graduates, and among them, a really dire picture emerged. You noted some of those examples. One woman we talked to had applied to 1,000 jobs and had only gotten 2 interviews. Those who were working said they had to switch fields altogether. They were taking entry-level jobs, making half of what they had expected. And some, even with what you would think would be in-demand degrees like computer science or degrees related to business or finance, couldn't find anything, couldn't even find retail entry-level jobs.
Many jobs that were traditionally done by juniors, like data entry, basic analysis, customer service, are now increasingly automated and done not by a human. The reality is that Gen Z's job market is different from our parents, from our grandparents. 79% of our parents say they draw on personal experience when giving career advice to their children. And let's just say it's not really hitting. It's a little bit outdated of advice.
How organized are you?
Very.
23-year-old Jamie Del Piano thought her credentials would stand out. A stellar GPA, a degree in psychology, a master's in public policy at the University of Connecticut. She graduated in May, hoping to land a job as a child advocate.
How many applications have you sent out?
Anywhere from like 10 to 20.
What's the response been like?
I haven't had enough experience, and that's of course challenging because I can't get any experience without a job.
Next, we have the LinkedIn problem. First and foremost, companies are admitting to posting job opportunities that literally do not exist. They're called ghost job postings. Either the position doesn't exist or employers are not planning to fill that role immediately. Employers sometimes use these postings to evaluate the job pool of candidates for future postings or collect resumes for hiring at a later time. Or, in a more manipulative way, they're trying to signal that they're growing, expanding by putting up new jobs when they're actually not.
My experience since graduating college has been an absolute slap in the face. And I did everything right. I networked, I applied online. The only interviews I got were for MLM companies where in the interview you realize it's nothing like the job description. You're actually going to just be a door-to-door salesman selling mobile phones. Nobody's buying a mobile phone off a guy knocking on your door.
So they're being dishonest. They're lying in the worst case, and Gen Z is seeing right through this, which you can imagine is adding to more of our skepticism of capitalism as a generation. Some ghost job postings are not deliberate. Sometimes these third-party online job boards will automatically copy postings, but no matter the reason, these ghost job postings lead to unproductive use of an applicant's time. My generation, we're spending a lot of time applying on LinkedIn, getting nowhere.
I'm literally holding resumes, a stack of them, so that I can go in person to places and say, are you guys hiring? It's honestly a little bit embarrassing because I'm literally applying for like minimum wage jobs, and some of them are being like, we're not hiring, and it's like, what? This is not what I expected. I graduated college with 2 degrees in communications and acting. I speak 3 languages. Oh, this sucks. Like, I just want to be a TikToker, if I'm being so for real with you. But I can't be delusional anymore. Like, I literally need to make money, and so I'm just gonna keep trying.
That destroys our confidence. I've heard of Gen Zers say that they applied to literally thousands of jobs in the matter of 6 months, and imagine if a majority of these were actually fake. So all of their efforts to be employed, which the boomers say that we're entitled and lazy, imagine if all of that was in vain anyway. Then for the job listings that do exist, an increasing percentage are requiring more and more experience just for an entry-level job. For example, 43% require a 4-year degree for entry-level jobs, but 40% of them say they keep that requirement because it's industry practice, not because it's needed to do the job. So not only is Gen Z struggling to get the jobs after they shelled out a boatload of tuition dollars and now they're in student debt for a fancy degree, but they can't even get the job.
Meet John Doe. He's in his early 20s and eager to jump into the workforce. He sees a job listing that looks perfect to him. So he brushes up his resume, he writes an awesome cover letter, applies, and then waits. And waits. So after a month or so, he actually sees the same job posting relisted, which makes him super frustrated. John isn't alone. Many people are frustrated by applying to these kinds of jobs that seem to have no intention of hiring anyone.
Tying into the recent election of self-professed socialist Zohran Mamdani for New York City mayor, Mamdani said he was a champion of the working class and he was going to help the downtrodden, blue-collar backbone of the city be empowered and have more financial security. But actually, it was the downwardly mobile elites, college grads, who voted for Mamdani. So the real class struggle is not between the proletariat and the bourgeois, the working class and the affluent. It's within the elite themselves. But as a member of Gen Z, I do get why Mamdani was appealing to this type of person. I am in that category as well. I have the college degree. I managed to find a job and make a career, but I know that a lot of my peers not doing so hot. We're young renters, pretty much all of us, and we feel like we're going to be in a renter society probably forever, if not till we're in our 50s. We feel like we're barely above water, and the entry-level roles that we're trying to get aren't even going to cut it even if we do land them. And this is because the average graduate is holding $22,000 in student loan debt. And look, I'm vehemently against socialism, but you can see why these kids are desperate for change, or a chance to actually succeed the way they were promised because they got the shiny degree. Gen Z also worries about technology.
You also write in the article about how concerns about AI are a major factor in the careers people choose. So what does it signify for the future? I mean, I've heard people talk about this, like AI is after your job or robots will take over. So what does that mean about the future and where we're headed?
Yes, so many jobs that were really looked at as lucrative and stable. You know, think about software engineering, consulting, even legal marketing jobs. All of these are kind of at risk of automation. We don't know what's going to happen yet, but there's a concern that entry-level jobs will be the first to go. So then again, why take out tens of thousands of dollars in student loan debt if you're not going to have that safe cushion of these high-paying jobs?
But listen, Gen Z, not all hope is lost. There are ways to be smart about this changing economic landscape. And at the very least, do not fall for the socialist prescriptions of Zohran Mamdani, whether it's rent freeze or government-run grocery stores. These are likely to backfire and honestly not make a tangible impact on your quality of life and cost of living. Look, it's really tough out there for Gen Z, but I do think that there are unique opportunities for those who are entrepreneurial. So if you have a startup idea, if you have a concept for a new business, I do think this is your time to shine. It's also never been a more flexible job market in the sense that now we have a lot of remote work. So if you're someone who wants to be a mom, you're a young woman, but you also want to pursue your professional ambitions, in a way, it's never been easier to do that. But what do you think? Do the numbers lie? Could Gen Z actually be doing more to get their foot in the door at companies that align with their career trajectory? Or are the odds truly stacked against them right now? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And please give us a like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and for more, check out my articles at nationalreview.com.